Hello. This isn't the kind of thing that would normally go on the VOD channel because it's not a VOD. Um, but the day I'm recording this is the day that my newest Nuzlocke video went up. Uh, that video being my Coliseum Hardcore Nuzlocke first attempt, because it took a couple attempts. Uh, Sorry, I'm a little all over the place. I'm busy trying to fix my audio because I messed it up, but that's fine. So that video was a sequel to my first Nuzlocke, which was my Pokemon Coliseum Nuzlocke, and then someone named wanderingbard Gaming did a reaction to that Nuzlocke. That Nuzlocke was not very good. Since then, I've done a few more Nuzlockes that were better. I did the Ultra Sun Randomizer, I did the Pokemon X Nuzlocke, I did uh, this Coliseum Nuzlocke, and then the follow up to this Coliseum Nuzlocke where I actually won. This is my failed attempt that I just made a video about, and Wandering Bard was frame one this time with the reaction video. Normally, I would stream a reaction to this, but tragically, this is the second time I have gotten sick in the past like week, two technically 3 weeks because I was sick for like 2 weeks before this. But I'm not as sick. I'm not in a state where I can't record or stream or anything. I just don't feel like I'd be comfortable going live for a decent amount of time with the way I'm feeling right now because I'm coughing occasionally. It seems to have calmed down for now, but that's why this is being recorded and going on the VOD channel. There will be an edited version of this reaction to my video that is a reaction to a reaction of my video. But for now, I'm just recording this. I'll like trim the fat in editing and put it on the VOD channel. And that's why this intro is so long-winded and it feels like you're watching an actual VOD without me having a chat to bounce off of. Not much I can do about that. My original plan was to wait for Wandering Bard's edited version of this, but to be honest, I don't have the self control to wait. I just want to see it now. So that's what's happening here. I'm gonna go ahead and switch to this scene. Uh, mm, all right. Well, that's not exactly what I was going for. Think what I have a solution. It's not a good solution, but it'll work. And that should work. Okay, let's watch. After 6.5 minutes of recording, so
Okay, are we live to go?
you are.
Looks
You're good.
like we are good.
You are
Hey
good.
everyone, Wandering Bard here, and
Hi.
today I'm going to be reacting to Winter VA's newest video. I attempted a Pokemon Coliseum Hardcore Nuzlocke,
That is my newest
and
video.
there's actually a fair bit of backstory for me going into this video, but I don't know how much to talk about it now because they tagged me in this video and they credited me for rules advice in some clips, so I have a feeling that they
True.
are going to be telling some of the backstory for this, so
Probably
maybe I
not as
won't
much
have
as I
to.
should have,
But
but
I have been
it's
told
a
in DMs.
reaction video. I'm gonna be pausing to talk. That's what a polite reactor does. Generally, I believe. But what do I know? I'm not a reaction channel. Neither is Wandering Bard. So yeah, subscribe to Wandering Bard Gaming. Uh, yeah. So I probably didn't go into the direct history on the inspiration and reasoning behind this video as much as I probably should have. Uh, Mostly just because uh, what am I trying to say? Okay, mostly just because I was trying to keep a very specific pace with this video. Uh, I wanted this to be a good video because uh, I really hate my first Coliseum Nuzlocke video, and I also feel like when I make Nuzlocke videos, I tend to hang on certain parts of the playthrough too much. And I thought a good way to get around that would be to limit myself to like 10 minutes max on any battle and trying not to stay in one part of the playthrough for too long, which included the intro. And I think that worked out because, according to Niku, who test viewed this video, the pace of this video was fun. So, yeah.
They are going to be trying something very different with this video compared to the last time I reacted to a Coliseum Nuzlocke video. And
Yeah, by that I just meant it's a
given
better
that
video.
Coliseum Nuzlocking is how Winter and I met and became friends, I'm
True.
really excited to watch this. Now, disclaimer, naturally, Winter is a friend.
True.
And even if they were not a friend, the purpose of this video would not be to crap on their place and talk about how
Winter is friend, not food.
much better of a Nuzlocker I am. But as someone who has a lot of experience Nuzlocking, this...
I mean, I don't think I'm
Oh, crap, I'm gonna have to...
inexperienced.
I didn't have the... Let me... Hold on one sec.
Uh-oh.
Let me put the webcam in there. I have to restart this intro. You see, things like this are why I'm only streaming this to Twitch today, because I knew there was gonna be some editing that I would have to do on this before I put it on the YouTube.
That makes
so
sense. That's a good
I
idea.
also need to fix. I think my lighting is not good right now.
I think your lighting. You know, who am I to talk? My lighting is just the color purple.
A bit better, I think. Okay, let me start this intro over. Hey everyone, wanderingbard here.
Hey
and
again.
Today I am going to be reacting to Winter VA's newest video. I attempted a Pokemon Coliseum hardcore Nuzlocke.
I did.
As you know, I'm a bit of an aficionado for the hardcore Coliseum Nuzlocke scene. In fact, I believe, and they might talk about this in their video, they credit me with the rules for this, that I was the one who inspired this challenge from Winter, because I reacted to their first Coliseum Nuzlocke video around the time that I posted my hardcore one, and they reached out to me a few months ago asking for advice on the rule setup for this challenge so they could try the hardcore experience. So I'm going to be reacting to their video, not as a way to crap on their place, talk about how much better I am at this, but because I love this Pokemon game especially, and I've done Nuzlockes of it, I have a lot to talk about with this game, and I think I have some good insight to give. So
I love the clarification that, like, all of the reaction YouTubers give for Nuzlocks, when it's more like an analytical sort of reaction, where it's like, this is an educational resource, this isn't to crap on anyone else's play, because I think for the people who make these videos, that just goes in one ear and out the other, not in like a I'm offended way, more in like a this just makes me want to do something petty way, which is sort of what this video is.
So, like this video, please, and sub to the channel if you want to see more of this. I also just set up a community Discord, which you can find through the link in the description.
I'm there.
If you want to hang out more and talk more about gaming and challenge running and such.
Gaming!
And yeah, let's get straight into this. I'm really excited. They told me that in DMs that they're going to be doing something very different with this video.
I did do something different by making a good video.
So, Winter VA, you have my attention. Let's get into it.
Oh, thank God I do. Oray, a land known for sand. True. And rocks. Also true. And some banger songs. That's very true. Oh, and just generally being the home to what is, without a doubt, the single hardest turning that up for me. Game. Pokemon Coliseum. Every battle is a double battle.
I'm gonna move myself down here.
Oh, really? Come on. Well, I mean, if I move myself up there now that I'm covering my webcam from the actual video, I guess I can just like turn like this if I need to directly speak to you now. If that works for both of us, is that all right? Can I get? Is your next word gonna be yes or okay? Main story, all of which you need to capture from the opposing trainers throughout the game, and the majority of which are great. Good communication, man.
Okay.
The game used legendary Pokemon.
Quite a few of them are.
Everything about this game sounds like it was made to be something that under no circumstances should anyone ever do a Nuzlocke of. So of course I have to do a Nuzlocke of it, right? Well, I did a while ago, but someone had to judge that run a little too hard. Here we are. This is the tragedy of Mr. Ass.
Okay.
So before you say anything, all right? The reason I do this reaction had even happened, I didn't get a Twitch notification for this for some reason. So I just got a DM like a few hours ago saying he wasn't expecting a roast in the intro of the video, so that's what I meant before when I said like it goes in one ear out the other, it makes me want to do something petty. Your initial reaction was not it was not that bad. It was all fair and true, And for what it's worth, I probably cheated in that run, so... Alright.
Okay, hang on. I didn't expect them to just roast me in the intro. Hang on a moment, Winter. Okay, I don't think that's exactly fair. I think I judged the scrub clause a bit because it's definitely not the way I would have played the run.
Okay,
but even then, I said like, you know, you do whatever floats your boat. This is your challenge. Okay, Winter, you.
It's true. That's all true. But also, the scrub clause should just be adopted into the official Pokemon Coliseum Hardcore Nuzlocke rule set. Not because the scrub fight is hard, because I think I could probably do it pretty easily with like any combination of encounters I'm given at this point, but just because the scrub fight's just so bullshit.
Had to do this. I came into this excited to watch your video, and you pull this. Okay, let's see.
Wait, hold on though. That's not the last.
Okay. Chapter 1. Yeah, I really don't know what to name this chapter, but I want to split this video into chapters to fit the themes, so this is what you get.
Cool.
Subscribe! Start off by committing an act of terrorism, resetting for about half an hour.
Subscribe to him and to me, by the way.
Deciding that grinding is cringe and cheating is based.
True.
Wipe the floor with
Love the alpha red line there.
Because they had to make
the
only guy with a normal name in this game be a dick joke.
Okay, actually, I'm gonna not pause on that frame. You know what the funniest thing is that I also reset natures in my casual challenge in this game, and eventually when I did the hardcore one, I was like, okay, guys, I'm not gonna reset natures. I'm gonna just work with what I get, and I got modest Espeon with great IVs in every stat. The one.
I will say, checking the IVs for Espeon, it really wasn't all that great for me. And also, I didn't give it modest nature when I cheated. I gave it I don't remember the name of the nature, but I think it was like plus special attack minus defense or minus special defense. The best one would have been modest, which is plus special attack minus attack. If I'm going to cheat, I'm at least going to have standards about it. I'm not going to make myself overpowered.
Time I was like, okay, I'm not resetting natures. It was great.
Getting random encounter, like getting random good Espeon.
The mayor's house, get assaulted by the gang he used to be a part
that's
of,
hype.
grab some Pokeballs from the outskirts stand, and then go back to Phoenix City to see Mirror B standing around unsupervised in the mayor's house, which, you know, I'd let him stand
That's
around
not a
unsupervised
spoiler
in my
at
house,
all.
too. We beat up the kidnappers again and steal their
I mean,
Makuhita, which...
It's weird, but I didn't get it as a kid,
it's effectively death fodder to me. Upon leaving, we got the choice of one of the middle stages of the Johto starters.
You do.
Well, it should be, but a certain someone decided to use RNG to determine their encounters in this game, so that's what I'm going to do too.
Are you really just going to use me to roast? Okay.
Okay, for what it's worth, this is the last time, okay? You're safe from here on out. This is the last time. Maybe.
Okay, so I have seen the rule set that Hef used where they did allow themselves the pick of both the Johto starters and the Pyrite Town encounters. I think that part of why I RNG'd it was because a lot of the first encounters were pretty bad in this game, but also because I wanted to avoid a situation where I could choose, because then you can just pick Bayleaf and Quagsire, and you're doing great at that point. I might try that run where I let myself pick the encounters, but I have an idea for what I'll do with that one, so stay tuned.
Luckily,
I think personally I'd let myself choose the starter, but not Dual Square.
Is probably the best starter for Coliseum anyway.
It is.
You may be noticing a theme where there's not much to talk about in these early battles, and that's because they're piss easy. So the thing about Bayleaf and Makuhita is that they're shadow Pokemon. Shadow Pokemon need to be purified, which can only be done by battling with them until these stages and places their HP bars are fully emptied out, and after getting past the first boss of the game. They also have to gradually relearn their own moves as the bar decreases, with the only move they can use off the bat being Shadow Rush, a 90 power typeless move that deals recoil. along with a 95% chance to land a critical hit if the user is in hyper mode, which...
It's type agnostic takedown. It's just better takedown.
Okay, look, I could describe
It's
hyper mode
extremely
too,
better
but I don't wanna
takedown because
describe
of
every
the
way
critical
you can.
hit
Just know
thing.
if a shadow Pokemon enters hyper
But
mode, it wastes
yeah,
a turn and disobey free
type
throw
agnostic
already,
is a
that's
funny way to
inside
say it
that
though.
much.
It's basically like rage mode, yeah.
I was really excited to go to the next town where one of the potential encounters was a Pokemon tied for my all-time favorite, Quagsire.
Yes.
Love that
Dice, and,
fucker.
we got
Look at him.
3, which is Flaffy.
I just
Not
love
bad.
Quag. There's so much to love
Not
about
bad,
him.
but
I think that's just like a
this is why I
trans
will never
person
be
thing to
happy.
love
We learned that
Quagsire.
people are being given shadow Pokemon.
So, I think we had a debate about this because I have since recorded. I haven't posted it yet, but I've recorded a video with A-Box and Winter where we rank all the encounters in this
True.
game.
That's true.
I think we put Flaffy somewhere around C or B. I was arguing for a lower tier just because you're guaranteed a plus in this game. So you don't really need another electric type of
I
Flaffy.
remember
You
this
can
well.
cheese so much of the early game with Thunder Wave. It's just a good Pokemon. I think it's not the worst encounter here, but there are a lot of better ones, notably Quagsire, but also like Mischievous, Noctowl, or Skiploom would all be pretty good here.
For winning
I
the
think
Coliseum Challenge,
most of the
Pirates
encounters in
chose to
Dual
go
Square
with
are really
Tails.
good.
Main
I
threats
just think
include
like
a
Flaffy
with Rock Smash
has a weird
and the
niche as an
Shadow
electric
Ferret.
type, and that's all I'll say.
How did this guy win? Unfortunately,
Shadow Ferret,
Chaos
not bad.
hits Makuhita with strength.
Shadow Ferret's not bad. It can't solo
That
Pirate
stat
Coliseum.
is Not existent. This results in the first death of the run.
Okay, I was wondering, because one of the few things that I wasn't here for or watched the VOD of this run was how Makuhita died. So I was gonna make a comment that, like, you know, Shadow Ferret pretty good, and then Winter goes and proves my point for me. Thanks, Winter.
But at least it wasn't S.
Okay, look. Shadow Ferret is good here, early game, when it's using strength with same type attack bonus on a Pokemon that has no defense stat. Yeah. I think Ferret is really good in Pyrite Town up until, like, Mirror B. After you beat Mirror B, at least, it falls behind, though, because, I mean, there's just so many opponents who use Pokemon with higher BSTs, but I wasn't shit-talking Shadow Ferret. I just mean the rest of his team is so bad, and there's no way that Ferret solos Pirate Coliseum.
Let's be on, I guess. The rest of the battle goes by easily, and after some annoying side questing, it's time to enter the Pyrite Coliseum, which is essentially 4 battles in a row without being able to switch the order of your party between fights. These trainers are absolutely pathetic.
They are.
Point.
In the Pyrite building, there are 3 potential encounters. One of them, Mantine, is good.
Mantine
2
is
of them,
good.
Yanma and Remoraid, are awful. And unfortunately, I got Remoraid.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Technically awful.
I didn't.
Octillery, which has a really great
I mean, I did until I wrote the script, but after that I didn't,
that doesn't
so...
have its damage cut
Yeah.
off. However,
Yeah.
someone on the dev team made a typo. Because while your Pokemon are all level 30 and up at this point,
The Remoraid's
is
level 20. So Remoraid was another interesting one to rank. I gave A-Box the floor on that one because he actually used Octillery in the finale of the run that he won with hardcore rules. Octillery, pretty good. Level 20 Remoraid, pathetic.
I don't know how
I got
this
that and
happened,
another
but it
thing I'm
makes it
working
so
on right now.
Remoraid is pretty much a useless meat shield unless you manage to make it past the first boss unscathed.
Yeah.
So after I shit you not 30 minutes of easy battles against weak opponents, I finally catch Remoraid, and then it's time to fight Firma 985, whose Shadow Mantine is seemingly an issue. Mantine has a good type and
that fell flat
fantastic
for you? The Firma 985 joke is one of my favorites that I wrote for this video. Firma 985, and then just throw in Germa screaming on top of her. Oh. You hate to see that one fall flat. That's my favorite joke in this video, maybe. I'm really proud of a lot of the jokes in this video, to be honest. But Firma 985 is a good one.
special defense.
You have a Flaffy.
When your team is made up almost entirely of special attackers, kind of sucks.
You
True.
can say
Luckily,
that.
Flappy got access to Thundershock before this battle, so...
No! Oh! Oh no!
Yeah. See?
Oh fuck, what happened?
Instant crit
You
bubble
You could
beam.
say I have
Turns
Flappy,
out,
but...
Mantine's also pretty good with its special attack stat. And critical hits are scary. Switching into Bayleaf and confusing
The delivery there
Mantine
is
just
good.
a-
Critical hits are scary!
But that was a scarily close call, and we haven't even made it to the first major boss yet.
Mantine pulled so much for me during my Nuzlocke tournament that I ran a while ago. Mantine was an MVP for my team in that tournament. I am so glad that Mantine is getting recognition on other channels too, because Mantine rocks. So the strategy here that I often use for the Firma fight is to use Umbreon's Snatch to steal away the setup moves from Firma's Pokemon, essentially give myself a 1v1 against her Mantine, which like Bayleaf is good for that, Espeon not bad for that because of its special defense, Flaffy would normally be great for that, but you got crit instantly. But this
I will say, Snatch is a move that I almost always instantly get rid of at the first possible opportunity, and I'm pretty sure it would have been what I got rid of for Toxic in this run. I don't remember exactly. I guess I'll see if I ever see Umbreon's moves, but my brain doesn't work with stuff like that. I don't think about Snatch. I think about like status conditions first, and then attacking moves. Probably opposite order for those. So attacking moves, status conditions, stat increases, and then at the bottom tier of things I think about in battle are like weird situational moves like Snatch.
This is a very winnable fight.
Oh, it's winnable.
Pirate Cave, we get Ultra Balls, which make things much
I just skipped the rest of it.
Shadow Pokemon thanks to
because you have the glitch, yeah.
And my encounter is the one I wanted the most, Swablu. Swablu evolves into one of only 2 dragons.
The glitch just reminds me of the
Swablu.
Sonic Adventure 2 dub.
I was also really excited to get to use a strategy on it in the final area of the game.
You want to know why they called me the motherfucking glitch?
All around a good time for me. After a really long and easy dungeon, it was finally time to fight Mirror Bee, the first and best boss in the game.
True.
Mirror Bee's team is sort of a big RNG check. If your encounter sucked up to this point, this fight will wipe out half your team. He has 4 Ludicolo's with weird movesets, but I was scared.
I wouldn't call them weird.
One of them has Ice
I would.
Beam, which is just
I would call them very weird personally. Bro has dive on some of them. He has astonish on all of them. He has water gun on some of them when he has access to the HM for dive. Clearly, some of them have absorb when others have razor leaf and mega drain. Make up your damn mind. Are they gonna be overpowered or are they gonna be like awful? That's what I meant by that, at least. But we'll see what you meant, I guess.
Especially this early on in a game with limited options.
You know what I really hate about the Mirror Bee fight? I'm doing a Soul Link with A-Boss. We haven't done it in a little while. But Mirror Bee either goes for like random moves or he's programmed to do certain moves, but you cannot tell what he's going to do.
Yeah.
And it's so much harder to play around random AI than good AI. Because with good AI, they go for the most optimal move and you can predict that. With random AI, you cannot tell. Like, I've never seen that Ludicolo use Ice Beam, but it has it, and you have to play around it.
Okay, so I'm not gonna, but something I want to do that I won't is pull up a DS ROM hacking tool that I use for a video I'm working on for Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which isn't going to come out for like a year and a half maybe, but the way that works at least is the game has certain like tick boxes for AI, and I'm just assuming this is sort of how it works for Gen 3 too. That's how this tool works specifically, but I assume it's working with AI that's already pre-existing within the game. There is like tick boxes for things like weather, so the AI will always use a weather move if weather isn't set up. And there's one that's called expert, and if you tick that, the AI will actually act like a person. So if you don't have any of those ticks checked, they will just do random move, and I assume for Mirror Bee, they have the weather one ticked, but they do not have like expert or anything like that ticked. It's just weather and then do whatever. But I also remember one game being like, I might be thinking like old, I don't know what I'm thinking of, but there is something where it's like in some game, nope, never mind. This is irrelevant. I'm thinking of something from Gen 1 where like AI would use like a status move if it gets same type attack bonus and is super effective against your Pokemon. That's irrelevant.
It's so frustrating.
Mirror Bee will always use Rain Dance on both of his Pokemon if it's not raining in the battle,
True.
which could be easy to take advantage of.
That's the one thing you can know he will do, though.
Moves,
this motherfucker's crazy. You never know what he's going to do next.
Ludicolo slowly, one at a time. After taking out his first Ludicolo, he sends out Ludicolo, which may sound scarier, but don't worry, his next Pokemon will be even scarier. One of his Ludicolos uses Leech Seed on Umbreon.
That's a subtle joke that you always have to add in there.
Refused to switch out. Luckily, Umbreon managed to land a critical hit bite, taking out Ludicolo. But this causes his scariest Pokemon, Ludicolo, to come out.
So terrible.
Oh yeah, this Ludicolo.
Ice Beam, which 2 of my Pokemon are weak.
This is the one with Ice
That
Beam.
essentially means half my team, since one of my Pokemon is Remoraid. I switched Bayleaf out for Espeon, knowing he can take at least 1 Ice Beam, only for Ludicolo to use Astonish on Umbreon for some reason anyway.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Swift-Swim ones are programmed to just go for Swift-Swim Astonish.
Why?
Mirabee retaliates by sending out...
That's funny, I guess, but why even give him Ice Beam?
Since this room is considered a different area than the rest of the cave, I was allowed to catch this, but first I had to deal with this final Ludicolo. I switched Remoraid for Bayleaf.
That's always the hard part.
From Ludicolo, but Ludicolo was targeting Espeon anyway because Mirabee's AI doesn't care about making sense.
It's just random moves.
It is.
A ton of damage.
We've been over this.
I decided to risk throwing an Ultra Ball at Sudowoodo at the risk of Bayleaf's death, but Sudowoodo escapes. Luckily, Espeon manages to kill Ludicolo, but Sudowoodo takes advantage of my mistake and kills Bayleaf, leaving Espeon at low health as well. I send in Flaffy to hopefully paralyze Sudowoodo to make catching it easier. You may be thinking, why are you trying so hard to catch this Sudowoodo? It's going to sweep your entire team at this point. And as Remoraid dies on screen, let me just say that while it definitely seems like a fumble right now, I would not go back.
I love glossing over stupid, irrelevant deaths.
Catching Sudowoodo and getting a tiny rat meat shield in return, I just...
Okay, so
there's a lot to process there.
There's a fair bit to talk about with the Mirabee battle, and yeah, so Bayleaf died.
Yeah.
Remoraid died.
Yeah.
These are not good developments.
Yeah.
The thing that I want to talk about with this battle, though, is that you notice that they never use Swablu in it. Like, Swablu is a normal flying type, which means that it is immune to Astonish, which, again, some of Mirabee's Ludicolo are just programmed to go for it, regardless of type matchups or anything like that. Yeah. And it also resists grass moves, and it has Stab, super effective Fly to hit Ludicolos with.
Yeah. So
barring the one that has Ice Beam, Swablu really good.
Yeah. Let me just say, first, Ice Beam scary. Second, I was playing on real hardware. I don't have access to speed up, and I didn't want to go through the hour of grinding just to get Fly on Swablu before Mirabee, because Swablu is the last Shadow Pokemon before Mirabee, and that's just a long time to add onto a stream that already went for 5 hours. It's the same reason I didn't do EV training in Dual Square against Divel. It's a really, really long time to grind in an already really, really long stream without the ability to speed it up in any way. So you're gonna have to cut me some slack on that one. Granted, Bayleaf and Swablu, or not Swablu, Bayleaf and Remoraid did not need to die. I could have done some funny switching, and that was definitely possible to do Deathless. But also, I wouldn't go back on it in a million years, as I said in the video.
But Swablu becomes terrible when Sudowoodo comes out, because normal flying do nothing to rock-type Pokemon, and even if you have you use Shadow Rush, your attack is so low and Sudowoodo's defense is so high, you're doing like no damage to it with Swablu, and you get killed by Rock Slide or Shadow Rush. So the smart thing to do, in my opinion, would have been to either lead with Swablu from the get-go, or else swap it in the moment you got hit by Leech Seed there. But then what happened when you didn't do that was that by the time Sudowoodo came out, Umbreon is compromised by Leech Seed, Swablu can't be swapped in, Remoraid just sucks, and then when your Bayleaf and Espeon get compromised too, you're in a situation where there's no way really to get out of there without losing a Pokemon. And
I really genuinely think most of this is just explained by the words real hardware, because that's just how I play these runs. That's how I prefer to play games, is generally just on real hardware. Don't generally emulate unless it's like a GBA game, because it's just more convenient to be able to play those to speed up, because those are made with being a miserable experience for the player in mind, I'm convinced half the time. So yeah, that just real hardware makes things a little more complicated.
You end up losing 2 because Remoraid sucks. So it's really, you really gave yourself no options there, and
True.
that led to a situation. Because that's the thing with Mirror B, is that it's like they said, Mirror B isn't difficult in the way that like you could wipe to him,
Yeah.
but he's difficult in the way that if you get bad encounters or you're not careful with how you use them, you can easily lose a couple Pokemon to him, and that can start to snowball into a wipe later on. So it's not an ideal start. Catching Sudowoodo saves it a bit. They were going to lose Remoraid even if they didn't try to catch Sudowoodo, I think. They were going to lose someone, I think.
Yeah.
So they could have been
Remoraid died no
punished
matter
worse
what.
for this, for sure.
Even if Remoraid
And
didn't
like,
die here, it died
if you're in
spot.
that situation where you have to sacrifice one Pokemon, think about who you could sacrifice. Which in this case, given again that you get Plusle guaranteed, I would have sacrificed Flaffy. Which I
just
know
don't
that Flaffy was their one Pokemon who wasn't flying type, who wasn't at low HP, so I understand not wanting to sacrifice it. But that again comes down to like allocation of resources. Using your encounters, ordering them in a way to make the most use out of them, and that's not something they did in this fight.
Decided to end stream for the day, only to find out between streams that Sudowoodo was a shiny. Now,
Ooh.
shiny Pokemon in Colosseum are technically the same odds as in any other Pokemon game of this generation, 1 in 8,192. However, it's impossible to know if a Pokemon is shiny in this game until after you've already
That's
fought
true.
Okay.
As a result of this, shiny Pokemon are a weird novelty in Colosseum and something I've dreamed of being able to obtain for myself.
I've never
So
gotten
even if I
a
pretty
shiny
much
in
threw away any
Colosseum.
chance of having an
Most
easy
people
run by
haven't.
sacrificing 2 pretty good Pokemon here,
I would genuinely
Let's go with that.
not
Chapter
have
2.
changed anything about this
Tragedy.
fight just because of that.
Yeah, here we go.
Plusle and Sudowoodo to
I want
the
to say I genuinely would not change anything about the Mirror B fight just because of the shiny Sudowoodo. Like, if I had decided to kill that Sudowoodo to preserve Remoraid after Bayleaf died, which would have been the technically smart play, I would have missed out on a shiny Sudowoodo. And, like, I don't care what anyone says. Coliseum shinies, I would pay thousands of dollars to get my first one again because that Sudowoodo was maybe the hypest I've ever been, and I wish I had checked it on stream because oh my god. That reaction would have been priceless. That would have been great content. It would have been a great clip. It's as hype as hell, so whatever.
team and leveling Plusle up to being usable, it's time to head to Agate Village, home of the ability to purify your shadow Pokemon. After beating a trainer whose team is even scarier than Mirror B. After naming Umbreon Sam and Espeon Mr. Ass, names that will forever go down in history as the names of those 2 silly gay dogs.
True, they are the silly gay
Riddle
dogs.
me this, Nintendo. Why can't I name my character Mr. Ass, but I can look up dead dogs on the Wii U's web browser?
True.
What?
That's just an old Scott the Woz clip that was relevant.
There's about a 1 in 65,000 chance that Egan can actually win this fight, so let's see if we got it.
Let's see.
I have actually seen someone record when Egan did win it.
All right,
Yeah,
we got a
it's
good
1 in
start. He's getting
65,000.
a
It's
good
hype as hell
hit.
when it happened.
That's pathetic.
All right, but the Shadow Rush
There's
does
just
a
so many
lot
things you have to hope for. You have to hope for Egan to consistently
Yeah,
crit with
you
quick
need
attack.
static, or you need a bunch
You
of
have to hope for the
crits.
static
So he
prog.
lost.
You have to hope
The
for
static
so
prog would've been
much.
hype as hell, is all I'm
It
saying.
would have
Disrupt's team
been.
is scary because not only does he have a level 38 Shadow Hitmontop, but he also has a Geodude with access to a recoilless Double Edge and a Wynot that can force your Pokemon.
Oh,
to
does
stay
Geodude
in
have Double Edge?
unfavorable
It
match.
does, yes,
He
and
leads with
Rockhead.
Geodude and Hitmontop, and I decide to switch Umbreon for Plusle, who dies almost instantly, while Espeon takes out Geodude, who gets replaced by Clamperl. I decide to use Plusle's potential last turn on this planet to use Thunder Wave on Hitmontop. Paralyze
Yeah,
it and
Plusle
exchange
didn't die.
Plusle
I don't
take
like
its
my
last
phrasing
breath
there.
from Hitmontop's
I imply
Shadow
that
Rush.
Plusle.
That-
I imply that Plusle died the same turn that it came out. It didn't. It lived one triple kick, and then I decided, well, I would rather have a Hitmontop than a Plusle.
And that would
comes
happen.
back in and uses Toxic on the Wynot because I didn't know Mirror Coat wouldn't affect Umbreon at the time. While Mr. Ass attempts to
Okay,
weaken
no. Chat tried to tell you. Chat told you about this, and you didn't listen to them. You didn't verify.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
Chat tried to tell you.
Okay, listen. Not affected by the accusations. Not affected by the allegations. I don't have a ukulele to pull out right now, so let me just do the next best thing. I have made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment, and I don't expect to be forgiven, I am simply here to apologize. What happened in the Relic Forest Woods was me ignoring my chat. But I think in the end, I actually did take out Why Not with Bite anyway. So in the end, who cares? I was just shortening things to make the paragraph work, and I don't need to include every little thing in these videos because then they get really long, and like it happens, it's how it happens. It just doesn't always work out the way you want it to. Okay, that's just I'm sorry. Okay, like
you about this. You did not listen.
That's true.
Hitmontop enough for an easy catch. While Triple Kick does a lot of damage to Sam, we managed to catch Hitmontop in the 4th Ultra Ball, and then just do nothing for a few turns while Why Not slowly dies of poison damage.
True.
With that out of the way, we finally unlocked access to Purification for Shadow.
For what it's worth, I'm pretty sure Mirror Coat does affect Dark types in Gen 2. Don't think I was thinking of Gen 2 because I don't think I knew Mirror Coat even existed in Gen 2 at the time, because I generally think of Wobbuffet as a Gen 3 Pokemon. I hear a lot of people like getting generations for Pokemon wrong lately. Like people think Skarmory is Gen 3 and like Togepi is Gen 1, shit like that. The only one of those for me is Wobbuffet. I always think it's Gen 3, it's Gen 2. Jesse and James get one in Johto, so I don't know why I thought that, but like, basically that was me rebutting my potential explanation on my misunderstanding of Mirror Coat though, so maybe I should just shut up.
Opportunity to purify Flappy, who evolves into Ampharos and gets nicknamed Amy. Unfortunately, none of my other Pokemon
I love Ampharos.
purified yet at
Me
this
too.
point, so it was on to Mount Battle. Where
Glad I
Sam
didn't
was
sacrifice
invading and
it.
attempting to steal an item called the Time Flute from Vander, an area lead. Mount Battle is one of the most annoying locations in the
True.
world.
I like Mount Battle.
9 trainer battles in a row before fighting the second.
Huh? You like about what? That is just 10 battles in a row where you need to run all the way back to the Pokemon Center every single time, and yet it's a progressively longer walk after every battle too. How? It's all ground types too. Like, it's not even interesting battles. It's all the same. It's all just like they all have a Sandshrew, they all have a Sandslash, they all have a Trapinch. It's like, huh?
Major boss of the game, and between each one you get to run all the way back to heal, and it's just not fun.
True.
Luckily, these
Okay.
battles are
If you had the right Pokemon, like if you had a grass type, which you don't because it died, and if you had water types, which you don't because it died,
True.
you'd have a much easier time with that, going through this without having to heal constantly. But
I'd still
things
heal
didn't work
constantly
out
just
that
because of the way I
All
play.
really
That wouldn't make it that much better. It would make it faster.
2 down,
But they'd also
down,
both die in that
4
case
down,
to the Geodude guy.
5 down, 6 down.
Actually, no, because they'd both be
7
fast.
down,
Never mind. That was a
down,
stupid thought.
9.
Off to a great start. Off to
here we go.
Yeah, you know
I
what's
remember
happening
this.
here.
Uh-oh.
I have lost an Espeon to the
Hitmontop,
sky.
you better fucking live.
I have lost a
Hitmontop.
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 The thing that gets me about this is
If that
surviving the
only uses
first one to give me
self-destruct, Hitmontop
false
is
hope.
dead.
Yep.
Damn it!
Sudowoodo took a fair bit from those as well.
It-
Rock type coming in handy there. Any other Pokemon would have died.
Okay, so it's Sudowoodo having 100 defense, first of all, but also the reason it still did so much, self-destruct cuts the opponent's defense stat in half before it goes off, because in the original games they couldn't do a number as high as like 400 and 500 for self-destruct and explosion. So instead they just got around it by making it do it that way, and that wasn't changed until I think Gen 4 or Gen 5, where it no longer halves the defense, but in Generation 3 it does. So even in a double battle, that's still 200 base power for self-destruct, and 400, not 400, but 250 for explosion on both opponents, even with the spread damage.
Any non-rock type. That sucks.
How the fuck was I supposed to play around that? So yeah, they put
Um,
this guy here just to say fuck you.
The way to play around that was to
Yeah.
have a water type
Yeah,
or a grass type,
yeah.
which things didn't work out that way.
They didn't. That's true.
In the year 2003, before Nuzlocke existed. After this, I decided that I couldn't afford to go into the next boss with any shadow Pokemon. I couldn't afford to keep Pokemon below level cap because if their defense is just a little bit too low from being unable to level up, that's pretty much a death sentence. After spending the next
I will say, this is why I didn't do the fucking fly shit on Swablu. This alone, also I love, are you okay? You look a little, like, blurry. But, yeah, so this alone took an hour and a half, and I was purifying 2 Pokemon. And I would have been doing that for every Pokemon if I was going to fight Mirror B, because by the time I got to the Relic Stone, only 1 Pokemon could even be purified. But, yeah. Also, I want to say, generally, I think I played pretty well in this run. I think, obviously, I lost, so some things were sloppier than they should have been. But, I think if you need to have a water and grass type to get around double self-destruct Geodude, there's a little bit of a problem. Not like inherently. I think it's fine to have shit like that, but that feels more like something you'd see in like Emerald Kaizo, not Colosseum Vanilla.
Terrifying Sudowoodo and Swablu, who got nicknamed Big Gnome and Eggman respectively, it was time to head on to face Dakim on Mount Battle. Dakim's team is full of scary Pokemon and a scary strategy that can only be done in double battles.
Protect Earthquake, yep.
His only straight up weak Pokemon is Marshtomp, the only one that doesn't know Earthquake or
Bro
Protect,
is weak.
Otherwise,
I don't know. Okay, so that's not even like a pre-existing meme. For some reason, I just thought it was really funny to put a picture of a weak Pokemon with impact all caps. Bro is weak. It's not that funny, but for some reason, that's just what I decided on. And I do that twice in this video.
His Pokemon are allowed to move. He'll be able to hit you hard with a move that very few Pokemon up to this point resist or are immune to.
Yep.
He unfortunately leads with Matang and Camerupt, which is pretty much the worst possible lead for me. Matang resists almost everything my team is able to do at this point.
Yeah.
Just generally bulky and
because you don't have a. If you had a water type, you'd be fine against Matang.
If I had a water type, a lot of things would be different.
But like electric types die to protect Earthquake, so you have nothing good here.
True. Ray on Matang and Dragon Dance on Eggman, hoping to stack my attack high enough that his Pokemon's generally high defenses won't be able to save him from Eggman's raw power.
Dragon Dance flying
Matang
types.
Manages to get Earthquake off through Confusion while Camerupt uses Protect, dealing a small amount of damage to Sam. On the next
like a very small amount, by the way. That shit didn't do anything to Sam.
So Dakim doesn't get to attack on this turn.
Confuse Ray. By the way, I can't remember. I think it was like Pokemon Challenges video or something that I watched, but I watched something where someone who does Nuzlocke frequently said that Confusion isn't a good like thing to rely on. Generally true because it is random chance, but also like Confuse Ray Umbreon is one of the most useful tools in Colosseum. Toxic, obviously, also extremely helpful, and I probably should have used that on Camerupt, because Camerupt stuck around for like most of this battle, I think. But overall, Confusion, at least in Colosseum, I haven't really used it much in my other Nuzlocks, but Colosseum specifically, Confusion is so helpful, and like you notice when you don't have access to it.
Tank hits itself in Confusion, so Dakim doesn't do anything this turn. Eggman keeps dancing. Sam fails.
Okay. One sec. I'm actually gonna look this. I'm looking this one up. Yeah. Okay. This is the video that I pulled that clip from. It's called Dr. Robotnik Dance, and it was uploaded by a channel called Nathan. Just the name Nathan, going for sort of a Jawed sort of thing there. And it's just, it is a 4-minute long video of him dressing up as Dr. Robotnik and dancing around, and it's just such a fun video. And I remembered watching it when I was a kid. Also, it's not loading and Firefox is frozen. That's not just new Bob Watchers. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, it's catching up. There we go. Yeah, so he just goes around and dances. I love this clip so much, and I remembered watching it when I was a kid because this is 8 fucking years old. And when I remembered I named Altaria Eggman and I won this fight by spamming Dragon Dance, I just looked this up and knew I had to use a clip from it because holy shit. It's so good. It's like this is old YouTube humor, but like that stuff is nostalgic for me. That gets me, you know? I love old YouTube humor. Some old YouTube humor. I will pull out a ukulele. Anyway.
Nothing this turn.
You're getting good confusion luck.
I am. Happens on this turn.
Confusion's hype.
The fly with protect, but Umbreon luckily manages to take out a Tang before it can use Earthquake. Dakim sends in Marshtomp next. Altaria flies up, and Umbreon confuses Camerupt again to prevent it from attacking more.
That's the thing that would happen.
Attack anyway, dealing a ton of HP to both Sam and Marshtomp.
Yep. Camerupt pretty strong.
It is. Camerupt is like okay. This can't be just me. Camerupt is one of the most forgettable Gen 3 Pokemon, but then when you see it, it's really cool, and it's, like, surprisingly good. It's really forgettable in the same way that I think a lot of Gen 3 Pokemon are. Like, I'd apply this to Electric and Electric, too. They look so sick, but they don't look like Pokemon. They look like Digimon or some other form of pocket digital monster. But like when you see them, they're so cool. Like I haven't ranked Gen 3 yet, but there will be a lot of Pokemon that I say that about when I do.
New Pokemon. Golem and his shadow Entei.
I say that like it's a surprise. No, everyone knows
Entei,
that now.
While Sam gets hit by a combined Fire Blast and Earthquake, killing him far too soon.
Yeah.
Like wait, like that
sucks losing a starter.
Saying far too soon is in like an emotional sense and in a oh fuck I needed this to beat the game sense, by the way. Oh shit. Oops. Oops. Nope. That's way too far. Nope. Where was I? I was at Sam dying. Okay, there we go. I went a little too far, but oh god, damage calc. Oh. Don't you love when you accidentally scroll?
While Sam gets hit by a combined Fire Blast.
Sam dies. We got it.
Killing him.
I'll pause with the space bar from now on.
It always sucks losing a starter in a Nuzlocke, as they're the Pokemon who you've had the most time to get attached to, and it's even worse when that starter is one of two, separating a pair that was clearly always meant to be together. And
true.
Not just from a gameplay.
True, they're gay. They're gay dogs.
Good night, sweet prince. We're too good for this world.
True, also. In a gameplay sense.
Okay, I'm trying to think if there is anyone they could have switched into who would be able to tank both of those moves.
Is
if
this
there
where the damage
was anyone, like Plusle dies to Earthquake, I feel like it's just possible that a Sudowoodo just might have had a chance at tanking both of those. What level is the Golem?
The Golem is
Fire Blast and Earthquake.
Golem is dead at this point, I think.
While Sam takes out
what level is that Golem? I need to know. Is it 30?
You might need to look up the Wikipedia. I cut around a lot in this video.
Shadow Entei. Eggman flies up, targeting Entei.
You get like one frame.
I could just look him up, I suppose.
You could. Or you could just use the comma because that goes back a frame on YouTube. But, you know, whatever works for you.
First battle.
Wait, his hair color is auburn? No, it's not.
I feel like Sudowoodo's defense just might be high enough to tank. I don't know. I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna calc this.
Oh boy, here we go. This is what you come to.
I wonder if y'all can hear my cat frolicking around. Okay, Earthquake does 70 to 83%.
The cat senses aren't tingling.
And how much does Fire Blast do? It's probably going to be enough to kill. Fire Blast can miss, but
level doesn't
Reeve,
really matter,
my kitten, what exactly are you doing?
I love the cat. The cat is now the main character for me.
Okay, so 70.3 to 83 versus like 29 to 35.5. There's a very small chance.
Yeah, there's like a 1% chance, maybe.
Hits. But it's a very small chance, and it's a very niche out. So it's another one of those situations where, like, when you don't have Protect, something is going to die.
Yeah,
like,
I don't think even
Altaria had been a Pokemon that you could switch in there instead of being out already. Altaria can tank both because it's immune to Earthquake. But you had no outs there, except like if you gotten real good like flinch luck or confusion luck on Golem.
For what it's worth, I still would have rather sacrificed
anything. If you
anything.
could kill Golem in one shot on that turn, or flinch or confuse it properly, there's a chance. But you had none of those options, so there's really nothing you could do. You're going to lose something there. Umbreon's a really sucky Pokemon to lose, so that's such a hard loss to take.
At this point, including
Sudowoodo's bad. I would rather lose that. Like, it's shiny, but I already caught it, so whatever.
Reeve, tiny kitten, get over here.
Oh my god.
You is being a force of destruction, tiny kitten.
Woo!
Don't get me wrong, I love you, but you are too much.
I love the cat.
Eggman takes out Entei, and Mr. Ass comes out to take his revenge against the golem who killed his boyfriend.
His boyfriend, by the way. They're gay. They're gay dogs.
Yeah, that would happen.
Up to this point, including two of the most valuable.
Okay, wait. You had Dragon Dance.
Yeah.
I mean, you had Dragon Breath. You could have double targeted the Golem with Bite Dragon Breath. That could have done it possibly. I don't know.
Bite
Dragon
Breath?
Eggman stole the kill. You got no hits in between. Yeah, you could have double targeted Golem. I suppose that would have been an out too.
I don't think that would have.
Yeah, I think that you got Tunnel Vision on Fly because of the Dragon Dance setup, but like. Double special move on Golem would have been the better
even
way
if that would have worked.
Tunnel
Vision is a big thing that I suffer from. It's a disease that I have.
If there's one thing I can say about myself, it's that I don't know when to quit, and that sometimes is enough for things to work out.
Yeah,
it's true.
Persistence is key.
So shout out to me for finding a way to fade that naturally, by the way. That song does not end there.
Oh, no.
Only a skeleton team remaining, I decided it was time to start working on grabbing any useful TMs. I beat a random roller boy in Fennec City to get the TM for Torment, which I never used, and win all 4 rounds of the Fennec Coliseum to get the TMs for Sunny Day, Rain Dance.
I don't know why I bother speeding this footage up, because
So that's a thing that would have been really helpful to do before that Coliseum. If you want to have like Solar Beam or Kick a Drink, because I think Altaria learned Solar Beam. So
Sunny Day Solar Beam
would have powered up Fire Blast, which is less good, but you could have powered up your own moves to deal with the rock types.
My issue is going over level cap though. I wouldn't go into this with Pokemon under level 40, and if you go in with level 40s, they'll go over level cap.
I steal a key off of one of the Mirror B peons I fought earlier and head down into the an underground city that's pretty much completely under the control.
Why did I just walk into that one?
Under Cypher's control.
In the city that there are imposters.
Oh god. This is the worst joke in the video, by the way. I hate that joke. I've watched the... Okay,
it's
so
an old joke, but it's...
It is. I have edited this video for days. I have had to watch this video like 7 times. This is like my 8th time watching this video since completing it, and that's just since completing it. I've had to watch that joke so many times, and I could have removed it from the video at any one of those times, and I just didn't, and I hate it, because now every time I watch the video, I have to sit through it, and it's just not funny. I didn't even do like a clever visual edit to make her look like the crewmate imposter Among Us Sabine. It is the least funny joke I have maybe ever put in a video. Okay, that's all I gotta say. I'm sorry, that it sets me off when I see it now.
Good.
They sell some genuinely important stuff, most notably Protect, which is a free turn at its least useful and a chance to survive an entire battle at its most. After doing
Protect is broken in this game.
It's not broken, it's just necessary. It's always been that way.
Gets named weak because while it's the only option for a shadow Pokemon in the Under, it's also pathetically weak, and there's no reason to consider it in the long run.
It's a good setup Pokemon if you need it.
If you need it, is the thing.
Like,
Silva, who got
it can learn agility too. I think it comes with agility.
Mistaken for the spy and
it doesn't come with agility as far as I remember, I think it comes with like Comet Punch, Safeguard, and then like whatever it gets that aren't the screens that it's good at using, but and Baton Pass. But no, it doesn't come with whatever. Either way, the situation with that thing is it's good if you need a Pokemon for setup, which unless your encounters suck ass up to this point, you never need a Ledian. Like, I could probably manage Venus Deathless without Ledian. Instead, I brought Ledian in and didn't get Deathless because Ledian was there. So, yeah.
Got his ass kicked by Cypher again.
That's the thing that would happen.
Ride the UFO into the TV studio where the next Cypher.
Look, it's Venus.
Venus's team is usually scary on a normal playthrough. Her main strategy is, well, to put it bluntly, it's being a fucking nuisance. She uses Attract, Confusion, Curse, and other weird status conditions that stack.
I've never seen her use Curse.
Just make it so your Pokemon
Bennett has it.
have as many chances to.
She doesn't generally use it because you usually have Espeon out.
Unfortunate for me. I was hoping for her to lead with Steelix, since Espeon's Fire-type hidden power would be the best way I had.
Like, Bennett's just so strong, it generally just goes Shadow Ball,
True.
because it always sees like it's going to do a lot of damage to something, but
on the next turn,
it has
Mr.
Curse.
S used Psybeam on Banette, which luckily ends up being a critical hit and taking.
Ooh,
Yeah,
we take those.
Steelix, who
We do
gets
take
hit
those.
for chip damage by Eggman using Fly. Delcatty uses Attract on Espeon, which is annoying, but
That is very
luckily,
irksome.
Mr. S still manages to hit Steelix with hidden power, bringing it down to red health.
That was a terribly risky play to make. But, like, who would you have swapped in? All your Pokemon are weak to Earthquake, except Altaria, who's already in battle.
Mr. S survives an Earthquake on 7 HP.
Yeah.
So I switch him
I mean,
off
I-
immediately and
Look.
Wait, you had a Ledian.
I did have Ledian.
You
but
had a
what-
Ledian to try and bait a Rock-type move, and you... Okay,
Look.
smart play would have been
Look.
swap Espeon for Ledian.
But did it work?
On the baited Earthquake, but you bait a rock move, bring Espeon back in, then use hidden power.
Steelix with Fire Blast.
Yeah, that was
I just
damage roll,
forgot
but
about
like
Ledian.
again,
Sacrifice
it
would be
worked.
Necessary, while Fire Blast misses a second time in a row. Steelix expectedly kills Ledian with Rock Slide, and she gets replaced by Big Gnome.
Okay, I will retract my earlier statement.
Okay.
Actually, wait. No, I won't, because I think I know why Steelix used Rock Slide. If the smart AI in Coliseum is anything like RSC, what happened is it saw a kill with any one of its attacking moves, and it randomly chose between them, and the coin landed on Rock Slide. So I still think that the correct
Four-sided
play
coins do
would
you
have been to
have?
do the switch on that turn instead of getting hit by Earthquake, because with Espeon at 7 HP, you're baiting any attacking move, and Ledian takes the hit.
Attract.
Yeah, Sudowoodo probably could have tanked that.
I have Big Gnome use Protect.
Maybe.
and
I could be
finally
wrong.
hit Steelix with Fire Blast, knocking it out and causing her to send out Vileplume, which is her least scary Pokemon. Its strongest attack is Acid.
It is her
Only
least
base
scary
power to
Pokemon, yeah.
Delcatty knocks itself out with Double Edge, so Venus sends in her final Pokemon, Suicune.
Hey, the
Switch Big Gnome
Suicune.
for Amy, and
Suicune's
managed
easy,
to
by
hit
the way.
Vileplume with a critical hit Fire Blast, leaving her with a low.
Yeah,
roll.
Vileplume is nothing.
We take
man.
Hard
those.
to imagine how this.
I've got a lot of lucky crits
I
here.
felt good after that battle. Sure, losing Ledian wasn't ideal, but with
Oh, look,
stats
there's
like
me in the
this,
chat.
Ledian
True.
wasn't meant for anything less than dying to preserve Mr. S's life. She was a bodyguard and she did her job.
Wax because you're weak. I love that quote.
Oh, here we go.
I mean, Gligar isn't good
Oh.
in Generation 3, but
That's what I should
kind
be
of
saying.
being
Oh, here we go.
a ground-type Pokemon right before an area filled with electric-type Pokemon. While the battle to catch this Gligar was way more annoying than it should have been, it luckily wasn't bad enough that anyone died. After catching Gligar, the next battle on the staircase was practically designed to be specifically obliterated by the Pokemon in my party, but the
Sure
next
was.
battle,
Oh, yeah, I remember this fight.
she leads
I
with
bet you do.
Dunsparce and Octillery, while I left
Okay.
Gligar.
Here we go.
I have
Let's
Mr.
strap
X
in.
target Octillery with Psybeam,
I'm locking
Gligar
myself
target
into my
Dunsparce
chair with the
Shadow
cane.
Rush, but neither kills, and the combined efforts of both of them resulting.
I can't do
Gligar dying
that,
way
but
too
whatever.
soon to this
Close
random
enough.
ass Dunsparce knowing Ice Beam and Octillery's Octazooka.
Okay. So I want to, Winter, I'm assuming you're going to be watching me react to this at some point.
Hi.
I want to say this.
Yeah.
When we were recording, the tier list video,
Yeah.
I gave you crap about this death.
Yeah.
I want to just clarify. I want to apologize and clarify that I was only trying to be funny.
Yeah,
Because,
no, don't get me wrong. This battle as a whole is insanely funny because this was the start of stream.
There is no way that you could have known that Dunsparce had Ice Beam unless you looked it up or had seen it before.
True.
So there was no way you could have known this happened. I just thought it was funny. I was just trying to give you crap.
Funny. No,
but
don't worry.
I was not
It's
trying to talk bad on you with that death and I would have lost my Gligar there too.
It's awesome.
And it doesn't end here, sadly. Let's watch.
Mr. S takes revenge on Dunsparce with Psybeam, and she sends in Masquerain. Meanwhile, Octillery hits Mr. S with another Octazooka and gets the accuracy.
Ooh.
That's like a 75% chance of hitting on top of like a 15% chance of getting the accuracy drop.
Put the stats on screen, future editing me.
Yeah, please do, because I don't actually know. But that line, by the way, with the statistics for that happening, that was just ad-libbed. That was not in the script. I just said that because I'm still bewildered about that. But Octazooka is extra, like, super inaccurate.
Picking up snow as it rolls down a hill. This battle became a literal blizzard blowing directly into that same snowball as it rolls. Piloswine's blizzard keeps on coming, freezing Sudowoodo before it gets hit even harder by Masquerain's Bubble Beam. And then a few turns later, Eggman gets killed by Blizzard. And then the turn after that, Big Nose stays frozen and Piloswine...
Oh boy.
Reeve.
Ooh.
Bad kitty. Destructive kitty.
Destructive.
Out with the kitty.
Yeah. Oh my god. That cat is a main character to me right now.
Avoiding Mr. Ass's attack, Sudowoodo stays frozen again and is killed by Piloswine's dig.
It's turn 6 of being frozen.
Yeah, it was. It's a 20% chance to defrost every turn after being frozen in Gen 3. That was turn 6, which means I had a, 20 times 5, 100. So I was over odds at that point. I should have been defrosted. I should have been able to use Protect.
That it finally dies, and look, you may think it's ridiculous how long this battle has gone on in this video alone, so let me put this in perspective. This battle was like 12 minutes long on stream, and my mental state was faltering, to say the least. I feel like you just need to reset here. I am not doing that.
Wait, I think, hold on. I was the one who said that.
You were. It didn't show up in chat.
I'm pretty sure I was the one who said reset here in the chat.
After taking out the last...
Yeah, that was me. I'm the one who... Oh, yeah. Look at this. I was such a nerd in this chat. But yeah, about whether to reset. So like...
Whoa, hold on. We don't need to go with the insulting ourselves route here. You were right. I did need to just reset here. But, I feel... Okay, so I have the cane, right? I use this to help me walk now, but every time I lift it up like this, I feel like I'm about to start doing, an old ragtime dance, and it's it's disappointing to me every time when I don't. I'm I used to compare Mr. Rhyme to, Aiden when they turned 60 or 70, but... Who's the one who has the cane? So
we use the term snowball and Nuzlocke to describe the way that early losses can lead to a place where you aren't fully prepared for future fights and lose more Pokemon. Yeah. And that cycle repeats until you snowball into a wipe.
Yeah.
And it became a literal ice pun here, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
But this is, I don't know that I'd say this is the coward's way out. I don't think it's wrong to say this is not the run.
Okay. It's not it's not the coward's way out. You aren't a coward if you reset here. I knew there was no fucking shot that I win from here on, unless I get extremely good luck. But, it's content brain, right? If I die, within the next 20 minutes of stream, sure, that sucks and I should have reset. But if I make it to the end of the game under these circumstances, that's hype as hell and content brain alike.
You have 2 Pokemon left. One of you have Amy and you have Espeon, who are good Pokemon.
Yeah,
I think, and you have you don't have Altaria anymore. You have 2 Pokemon left.
Yeah.
There's nothing shameful about saying, okay, this isn't the run, y'all, I've got to reset. There's nothing at all shameful about that.
Also consider this is real hardware once again. Like I had to like take a bit before I started the second. Like I streamed the entirety of Poke Park Wii Pikachu's Adventure, and you don't do that unless you need the mental help that Pikachu's Adventure can provide.
Last trainer in the subway with no casualties and managing to get the key to the lab from Venus, who drops it while trying to escape. It's time for the last chance to save this run. One way or another, this was the beginning of the end. Chapter 4, Collapse.
I love that chapter name. That's like a Xenoblade chapter name.
The only way through the Shadow Pokemon Lab would be sheer luck. Not only
have fun, don't die.
Many of them use strategies like Self-Destruct and Protect or Rain Dance and Thunder, which are incredibly volatile and double back.
That's where the sunny day comes in helpful.
Sounds good for the area.
It would come in helpful.
Ground-type Pokemon in Vibrava. It's literally held by the last trainer before the 2 bosses of the area, meaning you don't get access to its electric immunity until most of the trainers who use electric types are already defeated. And yet, despite everything, we blast our way through this lab. None of the trainers are even close enough in level or competence to stop Mr. Ass and Amy's fear.
The lab's not
Catch
terribly
Vibrava,
difficult
Purify,
now.
and evolve it into Krunglodon.
Okay, it's not, but also 2 Pokemon. Okay? 3 for Scrub, but 2 Pokemon getting through the entire lab. It feels good, okay? Let me have this.
On the Flygon with no issue. And then it's time for a rematch with Scrub, whose only threat, his newly evolved Wobbuffet, is easily dealt with using Mr. Ass and Amy's raw power. And then, it was Fine time!
Oh yeah, baby!
On time, baby!
You're a lifesaver.
Mine's team is focused
I've
on confusion,
never seen
Rain
this
Dance,
before.
That is a Xenoblade Chronicles reference. The character's name is Rhine, but you take the R out of the name, and it sounds a little awkward, but that is a popular meme in the Xenoblade community because Ryan's quotes are so, like, they're just so lovable. He says, can't have a rainbow without Rhine, and it's Rhine time. Oh yeah, Rhine time, baby. And then Shulk says, Rhine, you're a lifesaver. And then there's a popular video where Shulk says that, and then a picture of Ryan just like dissolves into a picture of a lifesaver. And look, the Xenoblade community's humor is fucking broken, but I love it.
Thunder. He leads with Altaria.
Also, it's just a hype transition into You Will Know Our Names.
Almost the best possible lead for me. I have Mr.
I do want to say that Altaria is probably like Ain's Altaria is how I came to appreciate this Pokemon so much. I saw Ain using it, I was like, oh, this thing is so freaking cute, and I wanted
Protect
one.
himself, and Amy
Yeah,
set up light
it
screen
is.
while Ain does
I love Altaria.
nothing.
It's not like
It's
one of
also-
my favorites, but it's a
Instantly
really
kills
good
Oh, yeah,
Golden
he
with
double
his
targets
quick
Espeon.
ball Thunderbolt while Mr. Ass takes half of Altaria's health. Ain sends in Huntail while Altaria uses Fly. Espeon protects from Fly while Amy takes out Huntail.
Yep.
Ain's Lantern comes out.
Electric-type
Mr. Ass takes
Pokemon
out
are good for
Altaria,
this
and
fight.
Amy protects. Raikou is Ain's final Pokemon, and while this would normally be scary, it's level 40, and I have a relatively safe switch into a ground type.
You
I
do.
switch Mr. Ass out for my secret weapon, Krunglodon the Flygon, who eats Thunder and gets hit by Confuse Ray. Krunglodon hits herself
Confuse Ray
and
does
Ampharos
suck,
and
by the
Krunglodon
way.
tank Thunderbolt and Hydro Pump respectively.
Like, getting hit in
Ooh.
confusion there
That's
probably
another
extended the Shirin by about
The
3
idea of
battle by
sacrificing
about 3 turns.
Krunglodon
That
comes
if
up,
you
so
hadn't
I
had
switch
light
her out for
screen,
Mr. Ass,
if you hadn't had light screen, you were absolutely dead to that Hydro Pump.
who takes
Yeah,
Hydro
absolutely.
Pump thanks
I
to
didn't
light
have light screen,
does
actually.
a ton of damage to Lantern.
I set up light screen after Hydro
Mr.
Bomb.
Ass also tanks a Thunder, but gets paralyzed and confused. I switch Mr.
That's
Ass
a
back out
50%
for
chance to
Krunglodon
move.
while Amy takes out
This
Raikou
is
with
the-
Thunderbolt,
This is the
leaving
scary
Lantern
part,
as
yeah.
Ain's last Pokemon. And then when it had a chance to take out one of my only 3 remaining Pokemon...
Discord said
Wait, what?
eat shit and die. What happened?
Rain
What
AI,
happened?
Rain
baby.
Dance again.
You love to see it. You love
Weather
to see it.
AI,
Is
baby.
either mentally fucking with you and doing 4D chess, is being fucking stupid, or is just
I love Sylvia's, like,
doing his
bewilderment
best to
here.
not kill Mr. Ass. He's trying to be dramatic about it and save him till the end.
So I've vaguely alluded to it, but I'll just explain it here. The way Weather AI works in Pokemon is if Weather isn't set up, the AI will always use a Weather move if Pokemon knows it. And if both Pokemon know a Weather move in Coliseum,
They will both use
they'll
it.
both use it, which may be useful knowledge later. For now, that one stupid decision on Ain's part resulted
That
in
saved the
Krunglodon
run.
lighting the
It
hell
did.
out of Lantern, winning the
Well,
battle with 0 deaths.
saved the run in quotes, but
This was the hypest moment of the run.
That
unfortunately,
that was so lucky.
This gave me
It was
this
hype.
idea that I somehow had a chance to win.
Oh
After
no.
defeating Ein, you get access
I
to
know
a
what's
TM
coming.
Earthquake, which obviously
Does he know?
instantly goes on Krungledon. I
True.
give a thing to one of the kids in the under and then immediately go to do something more interesting. The final area in the game, Realgum Tower. The potential encounters here are Delibird, Sunflora, and Heracross. Delibird and Sunflora are both awful, and Heracross is only catchable after beating all
Sunflora
the
wouldn't be
Cypher
terrible.
Admins.
Sunflora would be really good for me. That was actually what I was hoping for. I didn't say that here because it's funny to just say it's bad and the only good encounter is the one you need to beat all 4 admins for, but, like, Sunflora would have been really good. Sunny Day is really good against most of these bosses except for Dakim, who is the one I was really afraid of. Solar Beam is really good. Although, did I have access? I did. I used Solar Beam in my second attempt. I didn't in this one. Sunflora was the one I was hoping for. Didn't get it. But, yeah, it's just funnier to say they're both bad.
For you right
And
now.
tragically, my encounter was Delibird anyway.
Delibird
I
sucks.
decided to
Though.
go try and catch it right away, and yeah.
Hey, look, a Pylos
like
one.
The Delibird, we just don't.
Yeah,
have.
thanks for the PTSD.
Jesus, are you fucking kidding me,
Boy,
motherfucker?
oh my
Okay, Quick Claw, thank you.
fucking.
I didn't show as much of this battle as I probably should have. That was like ball number 9 or 10 on that Delibird, and I was about to lose a Pokemon here to Delibird. I wasn't willing for that to happen, so it was either this ball works or it dies. It ended up dying.
Well, you have 3 Pokemon
Yep,
now.
no Santa Claus.
For the rest of the game until Skarmory, yep.
Skarmory good.
Heading into all 4 Cypher admin rematches with only 3 Pokemon. Okay.
Yo, I was terrified going into those admin rematches with 5 Pokemon. Going into it with 3 sucks, even if one of them is Flygon.
Mirror B's team on his rematch is absolutely pathetic. His highest level Pokemon is level 46.
Mirror
and he has
B's
an
easy,
unevolved
yeah.
Pokemon on his team that absolutely could be evolved. I'm not sure what the plan was.
Oh,
to-
look at the chat. I forgot about this.
Not
Your
anymore
Dakim
talking
retro
about
looks
it.
horrendous. Thanks for letting me know.
No deaths, and he doesn't even get his fun music. The next battle is against Venus, who's also pretty weak. She leads with Raichu and Wigglytuff, while I lead with Krungledon and Mr. Ass. Mr. Ass uses Protect, while Krungledon uses Earthquake,
I love
instantly
Mr.
obliterating
Ass.
Raichu and dealing a ton of damage to Wigglytuff, who does nothing. Mr. Ass finishes Wigglytuff with Psychic, and Krungledon deals a ton of damage to Misdreavus with Crunch. Mr. Ass finishes Misdreavus with Psychic, and Krungledon deals a ton of damage to Blossom with Flamethrower. Mr. Ass deals a ton of damage to Blossom after she uses a Hyper Potion, and I
Yep.
switch Krungledon out for Amy to deal with Suicune. Mr. S then kills Blossom, and Amy obliterates Suicune with Thunderbolt.
It would,
This
yeah.
fight was easy. Ein was
Yeah, that
up
fight's so
next.
easy,
He
by
leads
the
with
way.
Rhydon and Crobat, while I lead with Amy and Krungledon. Crobat uses Toxic on
My music
Krungledon
choices
right
are
away,
weird.
but
Why am I playing Shadow Pokemon Lab in Realgum Tower and then I never use Cypher Lair?
Krungledon takes out
That's,
Rhydon
that's
with
an
Great
editing
Ball
weird
and
thing for
protects.
me. But
Ein sends in Starmie, which
I mean, the
is
song's
terrible.
better than
Starmie is,
Cypher Lair.
yes.
But I have the benefit of knowing for sure it's going to use Rain Dance. I switch Krungledon for Mr. Ass and get a one-shot critical hit Thunderbolt on Starmie with Amy. Amy
You got
one-shots
so
his
many
Pelipper on
crits
I did.
this run.
It's hype as
You got
fuck.
so many
Mr.
clutch
Ass
crits
fails to
this
hit
run.
Crobat with Psychic due to Protect, and Raikou deals a little damage to him with Thunder. But on the next turn, Mr. Ass nearly one-shots Raikou with Psychic. Amy finally takes out Crobat, and then takes out Raikou with Thunderbolt on the next turn, resulting in a second Deathless Ein battle.
Nifty.
But now, it was time for the scariest Psychic.
Oh boy.
Yeah, the Dakin matchup
Team's
looked
rematch
terrible for
Let's
this.
see.
Terrifying.
You can have words for this
Even
one because I
outside of
lose
only
someone here.
having 3 Pokemon. His team has insane synergy in terms of typing, moves, and abilities. He uses Sunny Day and Solar Beam, Earthquake and Levitate, Earthquake and Protect, and he even has an exploding Pokemon to top it all off.
Yeah.
Dakim leads with Claydol and
And my least
Flygon,
favorite
which is
Pokemon, by the
basically
way.
The worst possible luck for me, being unable to hit either of them with Earthquake.
Oh,
I
yeah,
lead with
true.
Mr. Ass and Krungledon. Mr. Ass protects right away, and Krungledon uses Dragon Breath on his Flygon. Nearly
Almost killed.
one-shotting and
Yeah, it's lucky that Flygon Vibrava technically comes with Dragon Claw because that could have killed if I was a little higher leveled because my level cap for my run personally was Gonzap for all of these just because I was in a pretty bad spot. I think in my second run my level cap was Ein, but that's besides the point. So yeah, we were lucky we got the Dragon Claw because that could have killed if I was a little higher leveled, and we were also lucky this Flygon does not know any Dragon type moves.
and paralyzing. Both of his Pokemon go
Clutch.
for Earthquake, which means nothing happens on this turn for him. Dakium uses a Hyper Potion on Flygon, so it survives another turn, and Claydol deals half of Mr. Ass's health with a critical hit.
With a crit. I remember the
Mr.
crit,
Ass
yep.
protects again,
Yeah,
and
that
Flygon
sucked.
finally goes down, but unfortunately, there's really no way I can keep Mr. Ass in this battle and expect him to survive. Dakium's Claydol deals a little damage to his Fortress with Earthquake. With no safe switch, I decide to risk switching into Amy anyways, and have Krunglodon melt Fortress with Flamethrower.
I'd rather
Because
lose
you
that
couldn't
first.
chance it.
Protect,
Oh, the
though.
protect.
But I did manage
Punished.
to find out that Amy has the chance to live 2 Earthquakes. Amy protects, Krunglodon takes out Fortress, Dakium sends out my least favorite Pokemon of all time, and he deals a little damage to it with his own Earthquake. Krunglodon kills Whiscash with Giga Drain, and he sends out Entei, his final Pokemon.
This felt so winnable, by the
Significantly
way.
less scary in this battle. Amy barely lives a second Earthquake, while Entei takes more than half its health and damage, and Amy uses Protect. Krunglodon takes out Entei, and at this point, Deathless Dakium seems possible against all odds.
But you have
I
a
risk
Claydol
double
to kill,
Protect,
and it
but
fails.
it doesn't work out, and unfortunately, Amy dies.
Yeah, either way, I was losing Amy or Mr. Ass. I'd rather have lost Amy, but the double protect would have been so hype.
Leaving me with only 2 Pokemon. With Dakium defeated, I grab the Master Ball from Agate Village and
I think that battle is definitely a case study in how broken Protect can be in this game. You would
okay.
have wiped.
I really don't agree with calling it broken. I think Protect is such an integral part to strategy in double battles, where if you don't have Protect, there's so much about doubles that are out of your control. This is me coming at it with like competitive VGC brain, where Protect goes on like everything that doesn't resist like the current move that is the current meta. Like if Pokemon didn't have Water Absorb in Gen 8, it probably had Protect because of fucking Vicious Rend, but like I just don't agree with calling Protect broken when it's so integral. Like it was clear the battle system was clearly designed around the move existing. And if it wasn't, then like indirectly it was.
If you hadn't been able to use Protect. But even so, it could only get you so far. You had 3 Pokemon with a horrendous Earthquake matchup. Really no way you were going to be able to get out of that fight with unscathed.
True.
Yeah, nothing to
Absolute
talk about
final
there.
three of the
This is just, it's hard to critique the plays at this point because all the problems that they're having here are a direct result of all of the issues that came up way earlier in the run.
True.
So there's nothing for me to critique here besides if you had done this differently, it would be different, but I'm not going to go beat the dead horse like that. So, like,
Oh, please
if they
do.
had
better
snowballed
for
so
me if you do.
horrendously into a situation where most of your Pokemon died from Power Swine,
Sorry.
you would have been fine, probably. But that didn't happen. And there's not... You used every tool you could to fight your way out of that, and it did not work because
Okay,
you
I'll
had
let you
very
finish.
limited options.
Imagine the double protect proc though. That would have been so hype.
And you got crit once by Earthquake.
That also fucking sucked. But imagine the double protect proc.
game. Realgum Tower. Here, there's a battle against Gonzap, the leader of Team Snag'em from the very
Gonzap
beginning of
is
the game.
pretty okay.
Luckily, his Shadow Skarmory is a guaranteed encounter, so if I can just survive up until that point, I can at least head into Tower Coliseum with 3 Pokemon. Gonzap's team is pretty bad, with most of his Pokemon having random HM moves.
They
that
do
shouldn't
have pretty bad
among other
moves, yeah.
stupid Choices. He leads with Shiftry and Crawdon.
I want to go back actually. One sec. One sec for me. For VOD watchers, it's a little bit more than a sec, but trying not to go back too far.
They do
Okay.
have pretty bad moves, yeah.
This Hariyama has Foresight just in case you have Misdreavus. That's the only use for Foresight in the entire game because Misdreavus is immune to all of its other attacks. It's just really funny to me. I think that's so funny.
Good choices. He
Anyway.
leads with Shiftry and Crawdon. Mr. Ass protects while Krunglodon uses Flamethrower to take most of Shiftry's health. Both of his Pokemon
I was surprised
target
Shiftry
Mr. Ass,
lived.
so nothing happens. On the next turn, Krunglodon takes out Shiftry, and Mr. Ass gets hit with Crawdon's Sludge Bomb. Mr. Ass uses Protect, Krunglodon uses Earthquake, doing decent damage to both Pinsir and Crawdon, and then Pinsir uses Earthquake to take out his own
And it
Crawdon.
kills Crawdon.
He
Yeah,
sends
and
in
nothing
Hariyama,
else.
which Mr. Ass one-shots with Psychic, while Krunglodon finishes off Pinsir with Flamethrower.
It would.
Throw one of my infinite Master Balls at Skarmory, and that's that. It's time for the
That's
final
the only
four
Master Ball
battles.
to run for us.
Technically 6, but 4 sounds better. My encounter for the Tower Coliseum is Metagross, which is held by the
Good.
second to last boss.
If it had to be something, honestly, here's my opinion: NASCAR is scarier than Evice in this game, because against Evice you can afford to sacrifice Pokemon. Against NASCAR you really can't, and it's I guess right now you can't regardless. So I guess Evice is scarier for you because you can't really afford to sacrifice anything anyway. Except against Evice you still kind of can. So like yeah, NASCAR is honestly scarier just because you have to play through and not take losses. You generally can't afford to sacrifice more than like one Pokemon against him in normal circumstances. These are not normal circumstances.
After about
I agree to an extent, but I will say, content brain, even in the final battle, I don't want to sacrifice anything. Content brain. I get attached to these Pokemon, and that's where like the interesting part of it comes in for me. I don't personally think of it as like a numbers game, and I don't find it interesting in that way. I find it more interesting in that I am attached to these creatures. How can I prevent them from dying? When they do die, oh, that's sad. That makes content. That's just how it is for me. I know a lot of people see Nuzlocke, like the fun of Nuzlocke for a lot of people is the fact that it's Pokemon but more challenging. For me, it's Pokemon but more challenging, which means more opportunities for me to get sad because I have depression, so I thrive on my sadness. That's not actually how depression works. It's actually kind of the opposite. But like I'm used to being sad, and like anything that makes me feel a little more, you know, and that's what Nuzlocke do for me. That felt a little too real. It's not necessarily like I didn't word that exactly how I would have any other time.
About 45 minutes of mashing the A button and purifying Skarmory, lovingly named Snad the second, I head into the Coliseum.
Snad the first was Sylvia Sandslash when she did Let's Go Pikachu.
And a Shadow Miltank. Porygon 2 traced Levitate, so Earthquake only hits Miltank, who used Defense Curl.
And
That tracing Levitate
got
sucked.
a crit Ice Beam on Krunglodon.
Yet another normal type unexpectedly having Ice Beam coming back.
Okay. So this was
Yeah.
the most tragically hilarious part of the run.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely, no offense, Winter, but I didn't think that you would win at this point just because you
didn't
only
either.
had 3 admittedly good
I'm
3
sorry. Did you think I thought I was gonna... I know I said in the script that I thought I had a chance, but as soon as Amy died, any belief in myself had vanished. Claydol Master in the chat even said, I believe in you, Winter, and as they left, I said, I don't. Like, there was no chance. I did have good Pokemon. And I feel like if I had just switched Krunglodon in Mr. S's position, so Trace had traced Synchronize instead, I probably could have gotten through that battle, and then maybe the next and the next and the next. But no matter what, I wiped to Nasco or I wiped to Evis. There was no shot I win.
Pokemon, but only 3 Pokemon against all of this. I did not have high hopes for you winning at this point.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I definitely thought that you would make it to NASCAR. So the sheer irony of Porygon 2 tracing Levitate to dodge Earthquake, and then Ice Beam crit kill Flygon. You know what the worst part was, though? Is that later on, like the next turn, I think, they used Psychic on Porygon 2, and it didn't die. It survived with a sliver.
I will just say, Jaden Animation's Pokemon Platinum run, Porygon 2 killed their favorite Pokemon in Gastrodon. I think any game that has Porygon 2 as an opponent you fight should just not be Nuzlocked. Porygon 2 has a history like of serial murder. I don't want it near me. I'm filing a restraining order against Porygon 2 effective as soon as the second run ended. So I guess I already filed it. I just don't want to see Porygon 2 ever again. I'm fine with Piloswine. I'm fine with Dunsparce. They're fine. Don't show me Porygon 2.
So the only way they could have avoided this was to either like know it had Ice Beam and plan accordingly, or double target the Porygon, which it would never have occurred to anyone to do. No one would have expected that Porygon 2 could survive Espeon Psychic while under level.
Yeah.
So like, they played the best they could with what they had, with the info they had, and they just got the worst luck there.
Yeah, it was
But I
bad luck,
decided that
by
if
the way.
run was going
I
to
think
die,
Trace chooses randomly in
I
doubles.
was going to be as petty about it as possible.
Snad to a final hope.
And then one of them just knows flamethrower.
Yeah, Absol could learn, like, probably Thunder. True. I don't think it has it.
Yeah, it can, because
It
I
could've
used
had it.
that before.
I just spammed double
Double
tap.
team.
This uses only fire types.
Yeah, that was me pointing that out. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
you got screwed there,
Yeah,
Winter.
dude,
You have a freaking low def steel type against all fire types next.
Going out
You're
like
screwed.
rock.
Well, that's why I did this. I knew I was done. I wanted to be petty. I love being petty. That's what this video is. It's me being petty against you.
Why did-
So, you know?
I'm at +4.
This is why you never
Well,
use
you don't
double
have, like,
team
an accuracy
strats. They do not work.
You do when you want to be petty.
Not
I'm gonna
consistently.
check.
Are you rough skinning yourself to death?
Yes.
You just rough skinned yourself.
What else was I gonna do? Nothing.
Buff skin.
Literally nothing else I could have done there. No matter what, the second I hit that Sharpedo, Skarmory dies. So, like, even if I managed to take out the rest of this guy's team miraculously, which was not happening, Rough Skin kills in the end.
Maybe it has a scope
Rough
lens?
Skin kills. The most disrespectful way to die.
Oh my god.
Man.
This was the fucking funniest thing that could have happened, to be honest.
That was. Yeah.
So concludes my first attempt at the Pokemon Coliseum Hardcore Nuzlocke. What should have been a relatively easy chance to show how I've grown as a player since my first run all that time ago ends in tragedy. But this wasn't the end. No way in
Wasn't.
hell am I taking this lying down. Mr. Ass wants revenge, and by God, he will get it.
Thanks for being a good sport and also for your help through the run. Aw. Thanks, Winter.
Well, if I'm gonna make fun of you, I'm at least gonna thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. True.
Yeah.
Thanks for the
I
like.
don't have much else to talk about with the conclusion. I did watch them do the run back. I'm excited to see their video on that when that comes out. But
hope it's
Winter, you got some good Pokemon. You got some clutch crits. You had the protect strats down pat. You took some risks. You got some bad luck, and you got the funniest possible Porygon turn.
Oh, fuck,
So
huh?
there's only so much to say about that.
I think calling the Porygon turn funny is offensive. The rough skin death after spamming double team, that's funny. Porygon is just like that is like a Shakespearean like poetic tragedy. You could not find something that tragic in a Shakespeare like play. To be fair, his plays aren't actually that tragic. They're usually pretty funny. At least in retrospect, they were probably tragic at the time, but whatever. Look, I did what I could, and I knew I was losing, so I just went to do things as make things as hype as I could, and I think I succeeded.
I do think that you have grown as a player since the first run.
I have.
I think that if you're RNG, I think that, like, what would I say as closing words to this? I think that if you had managed some encounters more responsibly,
Yeah.
I think you would have been fine. I think
Probably.
that, like, allocation of resources early on matters so much in this run, especially because you have so few resources.
Yeah.
So that's really what it became all about in the end. But like, I think that you're playing better. You're getting better at knowing what risks to take, what risks you need to take. Like, you just got to a point where all your team dies to Piloswine, and they had a Piloswine. Like,
For what it's worth, it wasn't all my team dies to Piloswine. It was I didn't know Dunsparce had Ice Beam, and if I had known, then my team would have been well equipped to fight Piloswine.
what are you going to do about that? And that's the danger of like snowballing. So allocation of resources, you get that down pat, you've got this game. But yeah, that's what I've got for thoughts on this run. Excited to see the run back. Really appreciate the call out. Go sub to Winter VA if you want to see more of their content, and please consider subbing to me too.
Subscribe to
All right,
Wandering
y'all.
Bard, by the way.
Thanks for watching. I'll see ya.
I'll put the link in the description for this and for the the edited version of this. But yeah, overall, that was a good reaction. Okay, I'm getting rid of the chat. I don't need that here right now. I'll get rid of the sub goal. I don't need the sub goal either. Okay. Overall, thanks for the reaction. I enjoyed watching reactions to my videos. They rarely ever happen, but when they do, they're fun to watch. I will say, pettiness in this video. I mean nothing. I mean no harm by it. Obviously, you said you meant no harm by any of the things in the videos that we've done about this or anything. Completely understand. I think it's funny myself. It all in all, like, Coliseum's a funny game. Do not Nuzlocke it, please. Look, I will say, I don't want to actively discourage people from doing Nuzlocke of this game, because it's a fun Nuzlocke. It's such an interesting game for a Nuzlocke because it's all doubles. If you aren't like a VGC player, you aren't used to that right off the bat. I was already used to doubles. That's why I already knew Protect and like how to do that. But also, I think the risks I take are a side effect of me having played competitive in the past. I'm just used to taking that kind of risk, and it's fine in competitive because your Pokemon aren't dead forever. You can use them in the next battle. Not true in a Nuzlocke, but it's just something I'm used to, and I also think it makes for better content personally, because that's the type of content I make. I don't make the kind of content where Nuzlocks are a numbers game. I make the kind of content where, oh, you should feel sad now that Mr. Ass is dead. Granted, Mr. Ass didn't die in the end, and Mr. Ass's death didn't even get a mention in this video, which it should have, but it didn't. But overall, yeah, thanks for the reaction. Thanks for the kind words. Thank you for the advice and the critique. The run back has already happened, so we'll see how that goes. And overall, I'm just gonna go. I'm done. See ya. I do need to actually end the recording though. That's an important part of this.